Everybody feeling fine. There ain't no business like show business, baby.
Show
It is showtime. We're
and we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a good time, each and every one.
I read the article that was in Variety that they did on you, and you talked about the challenge of the fabrics today not being of the same materials and the same creation from that period. How did you overcome that challenge? Did you have to work with some fabric companies to create something that held up on the camera?
No, actually, we just searched high and low. And also, we have a great woolen place downtown, Be Black and Sons, and they have been around probably since the period. So I found some good weight woolens down there, also some silk people here. We didn't really have the time to weave fabric or send from far, far places. We had to find it. And actually a bit of luck intervened. I found a beautiful panel at Mood Fabrics, which is local Pico in La Cienega, and turned it into this, with my cutter fitter, into this great piece. We manipulated the border and made it into Pepe's interview dress when she's at the restaurant with the gold lame and the deco pattern. So I think a bit of luck and a bit of searching is how we got our fabrics.
And when I was watching the movie, The Artist, I actually was really taken by the hats and the headpieces. Can you talk a little bit about working on the creation of those? Did you have to, how is that done today?
You know, most of them were real, were real ones. The one that I love so much is the one that Pepe's sitting in the back seat of the car with the veil, and she has a little tear coming down her. And for some reason, I knew it was going to be a very static shot, and she's trying to be a little incognito, and I just felt, whatever reason, gut reaction, that it should have a veil. And I had the hat already, and we found some antique veiling and worked and figured out where the edging should hit on her face and things like that. So there is some, it was just mostly like freshening and reblocking the original hats, except adding some veil there for that very pivotal scene.
And what was it like doing camera tests for this movie, knowing that it was in black and white? I know tone is always very important, but in this, especially getting tones that are contrasting with just the black and white palette, what were some of the things that you were really focused on or concerned about?
You know, it was really interesting with those camera tests because what was great is the art department had done colors, and so I'd photograph their colors and then switch my camera to black and white so I would know how the values read. And then we discovered very quickly on that textures like satins and lamés and beads and textured woolens and things, they really read in the quality of the black and white. So, but it's great to see it on film. You never really know until you see it on film. So, and then I think I was interested in how badly prints really worked, because even though they look very colorful and very busy in color, once they were in black and white, some of the values were the same, so it just became mush. So you lost this great deco pattern. I don't know, you got a few surprises I would take pictures in color and in black and white of my actors and actresses in fittings to really see how things read. And sometimes there was an unpleasant surprise, but mostly, once we figured it out, it went well.
And one last question, because I know you probably want to get in and get to the party. You've done some period work before, but I think this is the furthest back in time that you've traveled, I think. What was it like going and researching this period and really immersing yourself?
I think you always try to find a language. I'm always really fascinated by what makes something look like 1927. What are the characteristics of 1927, or what are the characteristics of 1950? I just did a film that was set in 1950, and that was also a transitional period, the same way that this 1927 to 1932 was. So I love dissecting what makes 27 look like 27 and what makes 32 look like 32. So that's what I really immerse myself in, because I'm also telling a story by how where the waist placement changes and how the hemline's length changes, that there's a passage time. So I'm dissecting what makes what look like what.
One last question. Sorry, I promise this will really be the last one. But what was it like working with the director, especially? Maybe sometimes there were some language barriers.
You know, what's funny, right from the very beginning, working together, we realized, even at my first meeting with him, the interview, that we loved film so much, and I was referencing a film called Show People that he had used as inspiration for some characters and some names in the script. So right away we discovered that we were talking the same language of films, and we didn't have a language problem because it was always could come back to that, the visual. And he also he'd drawn all of the storyboards for the film, so I could see what was in his mind.
Okay.
It was fantastic.
Have a good time.